There's an old piece of wisdom that stings more with every passing year. In youth, we twist ourselves into knots to keep others smiling. But as the decades roll by, the sharpest minds figure out that true strength often lies in doing the reverse. Welcome to today's journey, a deep dive into 9 things wise men refuse to do in their relationships with women. These aren't fluffy tips or pickup lines. They're battle-tested truths, carved from the rough edges of life and polished by the ancient Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, Rome's philosopher king, once mused that our biggest blunders aren't the missteps we take, but the paths we shouldn't tread yet chase anyway. And here's the kicker. The brighter you are, the easier it is to stumble into these traps. So settle in. This isn't just a video, it's a wake-up call. Before we jump in, hit me with a comment. Have you ever tripped over one of these pitfalls? Your story might just pull another guy back from the edge. What we're unpacking today isn't some academic lecture. It's a blend of Stoic gold. Think Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus, and the kind of lessons you only learn after a few bruises. I've walked this road myself, and I've watched others, titans of industry, dreamers, regular dudes, navigate the same rocky terrain. Whether you're flying solo, tangled in a romance, or locked in for the long haul, I'd wager you'll spot yourself in at least one of these 9 misfires. This isn't about outsmarting women or winning petty battles. It's about guarding your soul, your sanity, and your fire. Let's roll. 1. Guard the vault of your past. First up, guard the vault of your past. There's a haunting line from Nietzsche that goes something like, memories creep back like specters, whispering regrets we can't unhear. Nowhere does that echo louder than in love. Imagine this. You're at dinner, the mood's warm, and you decide to crack open your chest of secrets, those old failures, the heartbreak that still stings, the doubts you've wrestled into silence. You think it's a bridge to closeness, proof you're not afraid to be real. But here's the cold reality. Once those words spill out, they're hers to keep. And I've seen it too often, guys bearing their scars, only to find those same wounds turned into daggers down the road. The Stoics had this pegged. Silence can be sacred. Your history isn't a public library. It's a locked archive, and you don't hand out keys to every curious soul. Share it sparingly, with purpose, only to those who've proven they won't twist it against you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The finest shield against your foes is to not become them." Here, that shield is discretion. There's power in mystery. It's not about hiding. It's about protecting what's yours. Ask yourself, has she earned the right to peek into your story? The right woman won't pry. She'll wait for you to invite her in. 2. Embrace the quiet of solitude. Next, embrace the quiet of solitude. Aristotle dropped a gem when he said, "To know yourself is where wisdom begins." But let's get real. Most guys won't admit they're terrified of being alone. Picture a buddy, or maybe you, clinging to a sinking relationship, not because it's good, but because the void feels like a bigger monster. It's like huddling in a storm-tossed shack because you're too scared to face the wind outside. I've sat with men who command empires, guys who'd rather swallow chaos than sip coffee alone on a Saturday morning. The Stoics saw the flaw here. Dreading emptiness cuts deeper than emptiness itself. When you're afraid to stand solo, you toss your strength to anyone who'll stand beside you. The cure? Start small. Relish your own space. Crack a book. Chase a sunrise. Let your thoughts breathe. Here's the twist. When you're at peace alone, you draw in people who lift you up, not just plug the gaps. Solitude isn't a punishment. It's the forge where you temper your spine. Third, treat time like a rare currency. Seneca, that Stoic sage, once warned, "Life isn't short. We just squander it like fools." Ever caught yourself replaying a vague text in your head for hours? Waiting by the phone for a call that never comes? Pouring whole weekends into someone who barely gives you a nod? I've been there, and I've watched sharp men burn their best years on women who see them as a fallback, not a prize. Marcus Aurelius likened time to a river. Blink, and it's swept away. You can hustle for more cash, spark new connections, but those lost minutes, they're ashes. So here's the play. Value your time like it's the last gold coin in your pocket. Before you spend it on her, ask, is she spending it on me? A wise man doesn't just budget his bank account, he budgets his hours. Because when you throw time at the wrong person, you're not just losing moments, you're carving away chunks of your existence. Fourth, wear your wins with pride. Epictetus had a blunt take. To grow, be okay with looking like a fool. But here's the rub. Too many high achievers shrink their victories and relationships. I've seen guys who've built empires, snagged awards, crushed it, yet they'll mumble about it like it's no big deal. They dim their shine, worried it'll come off as cocky or scare her off. Here's the truth. If your success makes her squirm, that's her baggage, not yours. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't dull your edge to match those who fear the cut." Owning your achievements isn't arrogance. It's honoring the grind, the late nights, the battles you've won. A real partner doesn't flinch at your fire. She's inspired to stoke her own. So stand tall. Share your story, not to flex but to light the way. The right woman won't shrink from your heights. She'll climb alongside you. 5. Fortify your mental fortress. Fifth, fortify your mental fortress. The Stoics knew your mind is your castle, yet too many let it crumble to keep her happy. We'll sweat for our bodies, grind for our wallets, but when it comes to our peace, we'll let her chaos storm the gates. Marcus Aurelius warned, "A happy life needs little. It's all in how you think." I've watched brilliant men unravel, checking their phones like junkies, dissecting every word, losing sleep over her mood swings. They call it love. I call it a siege. If she's draining your calm, that's not a bond. It's a war zone. Your peace isn't a bargaining chip. It's your bedrock. Set lines in the sand. Say no. Walk away from the noise. The right woman won't trade your sanity for her comfort. She'll guard it too. A drained mind builds nothing but shadows. Protect yours, because you can't lift her up if you're falling apart. Sixth, stay anchored to your core. Albert Camus once said, "The second you bend yourself for someone else, you start vanishing." How often have you swallowed a yes when you meant no? Faked a laugh at something you loathed? Nodded along to keep the peace? The Stoics saw the cost. Pretending splits you in two, once from the strain, once from the fallout. I've seen rock-solid men ditch their principles, their passions, even their crew, just to fit her mold. They turn into actors, auditioning for a role they think she'll applaud. But here's the irony. The more you play the part, the less she's drawn to you. Authenticity has a pull no mask can mimic. Epictetus said, "Be willing to look dumb for what's true." Say what you mean. Stand your ground. The right one won't ask you to rewrite your script. She'll cheer the real you on. 7. Chase your North Star. Seventh, chase your North Star. Seneca put it starkly. No one gets it all, but we can choose not to waste what we've got. Too many men shelve their dreams for her blueprint, pausing careers, dropping passions, fading into her shadow. They call it compromise. I call it surrender. I've seen guys wake up a decade later, hollowed out, wondering where their fire went. Marcus Aurelius urged, "Look inside. There's a well of strength if you dare to draw from it." When you ditch your path, you don't just lose goals, you lose yourself. And here's the sting. She'll lose respect too. No one admires a man who trades his purpose for applause. Keep your vision alive. Invite her along, but don't detour. True love fuels your climb. It doesn't clip your wings. 8. Hold tight to your tribe. Plato said, "The greatest victory is over yourself. The worst defeat is by your own hand." And nothing screams self-sabotage like ditching your crew for her. I've watched men fade from their friends, skip family dinners, let old bonds rust, all to keep her happy. They think it's devotion. It's a slow bleed. The Stoics knew we're not islands. We need our pack. When that romance crashes, and it might, those bridges you burned, they're gone. The strongest couples I've seen keep their roots deep. Friends, family, the ones who've got your back. A woman who pulls you from that isn't building love. She's building a cage. Make time for your people. They're your anchor when the storm hits. 9th and final, break the chains of neediness. Marcus Aurelius said, "You rule your mind, not the world. Grasp that, and you're free." Too many sharp guys tether their worth to her nod, obsessing over texts, bending their days to her whims, crumbling without her thumbs up. Their joy swings on her replies. Their peace hangs on her grin. The Stoics called it slavery, handing your calm to someone else's chaos. And here's the twist. The needier you get, the less she wants you. It's a trap. Desperation repels. Build a life so rich that she's a bonus, not your oxygen. Stand firm in your own skin. True strength doesn't beg for validation. It radiates. The right woman won't carry your world. She'll join. As we tie this up, let's get one thing straight. These 9 rules aren't just about women. They're about you. From shielding your past to standing tall in your independence, this is Stoic wisdom rebooted for today. Marcus Aurelius said, "Happiness lies within your thoughts, not beyond your reach." This isn't about control or games. It's about forging a core so solid that love lifts you, not defines you. The Stoics got it. Real power isn't in what you chase, but what you let go. If this hit home, smash that like button and pass it to a guy who needs it. Your move now. Live these truths and watch your world shift.